Okay, we got a question from Alex. Omicron exposures at daycare have been wiping us out. We have to keep the kids home for 7 to 10 days with every exposure. For the past 5 weeks, we've been going back for only 1 or 2 days at a time before being notified that we're back in COVID jail, burning through our vacation time with the kids at home. You know, this has to be an American. That we have to do better than this as a country. It happened again last night. I'm noticeably gained weight in this time. Of course, yeah. Well, the stress of this will make that. Normally, I do a pretty good job eating like an adult, but whenever that exposure email arrives, or one of the toddlers melts or gets hurt down, I realize about an hour later, when I'm feeling awful, both physically and emotionally, that I have gone crazy with binging on whatever was easiest. I always save the healthy leftovers and food for the kids' breakfast. Good. And these days, lunch as well. So it's usually something crappy. Have you seen any strategies that have helped folks who have problems with stress eating? Um, okay, this is almost a medical issue because, well, in a sense, it is, isn't it? Huh? I mean, this is a quarantine pandemic issue, and I'm giving you advice. The best advice. I thought I was giving good advice a year ago when I was telling people, hang in there. This too shall pass. And here we are a year later, and again, my poor daughter, is dealing with another situation at school. Uh, it's just weird how it just seems like we're at a place now. We have so much more information than we ever did, and yet things never seem to end. Um, I don't know if you have the time to do this, but I have found, from my own personal experience and from the experiences of others, that meditation actually helps with this. And meditation, and I use brain.fm, and I put on my little mask and my little earphones. I have found that meditation has worked miracles and wonders with me. And I start with that because, to me, what I'm seeing here is that your response to a stressful situation is to find something that comforts you, and that's well, that's what we all do. Um, uh, there's I've been told by people that they had stress sex a lot during the pandemic, where their sexual numbers with their partner went really, really high as a stress releaser. I know a lot of people began walking a lot more, but you reaching for food as a comfort. There's a couple of things I would like you to think about, and I'm not very good at this, Alex. I'll do my best. First off, I would love it if you start keeping a journal. Start writing this out, and then have a discussion in your own handwriting about what is driving you to these foods. And I'd be very specific about the foods. You said here, you mentioned the word here, crappy, and binging, crazy binging. Um, but you don't define what crappy is. I got it. I mean, I know what you mean, but it's important that you write down what you mean by that. And I'm saying this because, um, you're the adult. You can stop buying these things and throw them out. Personally, I mean, obviously, 5 years ago, that would have been my answer. Just clean out, declutter the hell out of your house, get that stuff in the garbage, give it away, throw it away, get it out. But um, now I'm a lot more like, let's make sure we name it, we label it. When you say crappy food, it has a name. In my case, man, at discus camp, we used to joke about me eating Cheez Its. I never ate Cheez Its until the stress at discus camp, and we had weird stressors at discus camp. Uh, well, we had one stressor at discus camp. And I would just eat Cheez Its. Well, Cheez Its, it became a joke, and it became my stress food, and I want to eat it. I knew this was not good for me. I knew it was my stress food, but I ate it to acknowledge. You see that little loop that your brain goes through? So let's do this. Write about it. Be very specific what you name it. I would strongly recommend to do something like a meditation or something like that, some mental next step to help you deal with stress. That's how I deal with stress. I breathe in, I breathe out, because that's what my meditation class does for me. So from there, and then so let's label it, talk about it, get some insights on it, practice some kind of meditation, some kind of active tool to help you deal with your stress. And then the third thing would be a two-pronged attack. One, yeah, let's get rid of the stuff that you label your stress. For me, I got rid of booze out of the house during the pandemic because the booze was not answering the pandemic issues. It was just, in fact, long term, I think it added to them. And then what I'd like you to do, so get rid of the crappy food, number three. But the other part of number three, let's find something that's a little bit healthier for you, that when you decide to go after it, it's not good or bad. I would suggest maybe something as simple as in-season fruit, especially if you have to do something to it, like peel an orange or cut up slices of apple or something like that. I know that, God, I just can't. I mean, these are pretty corny, but the idea that under stress, while you're ripping that orange apart or whatever it is, maybe you can label this as a stress relieving moment. Sorry, not better answers than that, but this is a tough one. I'll have all the answers for COVID 100 years from now. So get back to me then.